Hello, everything is fine. My name is Ayrton Noy. I am an environmental engineer and founder of the Ambient Amaze website and technical director of environmental actions at the Drama Romani Institute. In this video, I will talk a little about agroecology, which is a very important topic that is directly linked to a trend of promoting quality of life in the general population. To begin with, what is agroecology? The term agroecology represents the union of agricultural concepts allied with ecology, seeking a balance in food production and considering the preservation of the environment and social, ethical, and environmental issues. This context has strong support from family farming. With the mass production of food increasingly industrialized, a lot was lost over time. Many more sustainable food production practices and agriculture became increasingly aggressive for the environment and human health, with the application increasing use of pesticides. This set of agroecology concepts makes up a trend and manages to unite very important aspects that are true pillars of society, such as food production, economy, and socio-environmental sustainability. When agriculture considers agroecological aspects, it collaborates directly with the production of more sustainable food, with greater respect for ecosystems, the environment, and everyone involved, whether human, animal, or plant. Agroecology also demonstrates in practice the possibility of conducting food production, considering, in addition to respect for the environment, the food safety of items produced due to the use of non-toxic agricultural techniques and pesticides and generally made from natural materials. As it was many years ago, food cultivation was being carried out without using pesticides and with less aggressive techniques than those that currently exist in the vast majority of cases on large food-producing properties. Agroecology means societies need to review the food that society has been consuming and the aspects that have been negatively influencing the health of the population and the environment. The contribution of this more sustainable food cultivation method represents the preservation of several aspects for the environment, such as the biodiversity present in these cultivation areas and the natural balance of managed habitats. There is also an increase in the preservation of native seeds with this cultivation method, since the family production of several crops still manages to help these natural seeds to continue in productive cycles in the environment, also avoiding the use of transgenics in the environment. By avoiding the use of pesticides, in addition to producing the safest food for human consumption, the preservation of organisms present in the crop is also promoted in this crop environment, helping with the natural process of maintaining life in these cultivated areas. Insects and animals can be avoided in vegetables with agroecological methods, considering the use of alternative elements, such as combinations of flowers, teas planted together with vegetables. In certain situations, they end up influencing and scaring away certain insects, acting as natural repellents. A very practical example in agroecology is the use of natural predators to control pests in cultivated areas. A very practical example are the ladybugs, those little red beetles with the reddish collar that have a very important aspect in the maintenance and balance of several other species of insects, since they are natural predators, such as aphids that affect several vegetable crops. Only where there are no pesticides is it possible for these ladybugs to settle and collaborate naturally in the control of these other species that are considered pests for agriculture. Where there is pesticide, the ladybug does not appear. It is not possible for it to survive. By also avoiding poison in these productive areas, contamination of water bodies such as streams, rivers, and groundwater is also avoided. And so, it is possible to avoid contamination of water for human consumption and for the fauna in general that has contact with it. Another fact that we must consider regarding pesticides is that there is no safe amount for human consumption. And that certain poisons have cumulative aspects in the human organism. The interaction of these substances can influence each individual sooner or later, depending on each person's resistance. So, the best way to avoid any problem resulting from the consumption of pesticides is to avoid their consumption. According to this system, it is possible to avoid the use of pesticides. We can also have an increase in production due to avoiding the death of several pollinating insects, such as the most diverse types of bees, wasps, among others. Other very interesting aspects that are considered in agroecology are linked to fertilization systems and care with fertilization, as it is very important that this fertilization is from an organic source and implemented in a careful and controlled manner in soil preparation. This can greatly contribute to the natural balance of the environment, avoiding possible chemical and artificial contamination that could affect nearby waterways and also groundwater. In this way, there is also an opportunity to implement places for composting and the use of various organic residues that can be reused due to this demand. In this context of agroecological production, composting and the use of organic waste stands out as an indispensable tool to add to this process, as it helps in a more natural way in the nutrition of cultivated vegetables. In summary then, agroecology considers a much more adequate cycle of food production in a much more sustainable and safe way for the consumer population and the entire environment. I hope you enjoyed the content, and until next time.